A few nights ago, I was thumbing through the pages of a book someone once gave me. Tucked behind the front cover was a small slip of red paper. On it was written the following: "If ever there is a tomorrow when we're not together, there is something you must always remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we're apart, I'll always be with you." Winnie the Pooh. Perhaps the most compelling quote ever credited to a portly cartoon bear. The book in my hands was tied to a long story that involved myself and the person who gave it to me. It took years to unfold, yet as I sat there thinking about it, a montage of memories flashed before my eyes, and something inside began to hurt. It was then that I caught myself subconsciously wishing things were the way I wanted them, rather than the way they were meant to be. But then, of course, I immediately gave it a second thought and realized what an absurd thing that was to be thinking, and I scolded myself. Though I rarely intend to, sometimes I wish things had turned out differently, because I can't help but wonder. I used to know a girl who had a beautiful way of looking at the world around her. She saw the splendor and charm in everything, moment by moment, from the mundane to the wondrous. Once we sat in an empty parking lot, and she showed me a page from an old astronomy textbook that depicted our planet, our solar system, our galaxy, and beyond. She pointed at the Earth, the planets, the everything else, and wondered aloud, "Look how tiny we are compared to everything around us." So often I scornfully catch myself wishing for things I don't have, or at least things I don't have any right wishing for. Sometimes I wonder who I would have been, had past journeys been steered down different roads and headed in completely different directions. Sometimes wondering can get you into trouble because it's often the case that you find yourself, by some mysterious form of inherent rationale, believing that you or your life would have somehow been better off had things turned out differently. Perhaps that's trite and pessimistic, but I suppose this way of thinking is more common than we tend to gather or even realize. I try to remind myself how blessed I am to have what I have: friends, family, passions, and ultimately a savior. I am immensely grateful for the life I've been given and for the opportunities I've been allowed to seize. I am altogether undeserving, and thus so very humbled.